All right, friends, with so many markets out there and so many different types of homes you can buy, what age of home should you really be looking at? Okay, friends, Stephen Michael Miller here, and I've got a question right now. I just want to read it here. It says, sounds cool. I wonder how old houses you buy for renting out. I think he meant to say how old are homes you buy to rent out. Our new 2018 house is best. Thank you so much, Silver Shadow. Really appreciate that comment there and that question. So I want to get into the age of home and why you might want to be aware of the age of home, and I'll answer your question here as we kind of go through this as well. But let's just talk about what you're looking for and why you want to be aware of certain things when considering the age of the home. First of all, the age of the home doesn't necessarily matter. Okay, I'm just going to say that right off the bat. The age of the home doesn't necessarily matter. The condition of the home is really more of what you're looking for, and not just the condition of the home itself, but also the condition of the different systems in the home. So the home, any home, has a lot of basic systems, right? You've got your electrical systems, you've got your plumbing system, you've got your HVAC or your heating and air conditioning type of systems, right? You've got, what other systems are there? Those are the main kind of systems in the home. So you've got these different systems, and what you really want to be aware of is what is the wear and tear on those systems, because like anything, homes do age, right? Like everything, homes do age as well. Things wear out and have to be replaced. And at certain eras, or in before certain years, there were types of systems that were used that are no longer very viable and, quite honestly, sometimes very dangerous. So I want to talk about some of those. One that comes to mind right now is lead-based paint. Lead-based paint was used in homes before 1978, I think, or 79, if I remember right. And so a home, if you purchase a home that was purchased before that was built before 1978, then it could have lead-based paint. Why is that a thing? Well, there's been laws that have come out now that say if there's lead-based paint, it has to be remediated. Not to scare anybody, because remediation oftentimes only means that you need to paint over it, right? Because if a child chews on a lead-based paint windowsill or something like that, they can get lead poisoning, right? So these are just things to be aware of, not to scare you from buying a home necessarily, but just to be aware of. Wiring is a big thing, and wiring can actually cause electrical fires. It can be very, very dangerous in a home if it's not the right types of wiring. Before, I think it was 1978 as well, 78 or 79 as well, there was oftentimes aluminum wiring in homes. Aluminum wiring also isn't as good or as safe as copper wiring. Also shorts out easier, burns easier, lots of different things. And so if there's aluminum wiring in a home, you may want to be aware of that and either fix it or have the seller of the home fix it before you buy it, right? Just some things to be aware of. Again, not necessarily going to keep you from buying the home, but you need to be aware of it. Before that, years and years before that, they had what was called knob and tube wiring, where they would have these wires with very, very flimsy sheathing around it that they would wrap around these porcelain tubes and in through these porcelain knobs to keep them off of the wood of the home. But they're open, right? You oftentimes would have these open or very, very flimsy covered wiring. It's a hazard. It's a shock hazard if you're up in the attic or down in the crawl space below. It can be a fire hazard and oftentimes has started fires in homes. So you just want to be aware of that wiring. If your home has knob and tube wiring that has not been removed, you're going to want to make sure it gets removed, either by you doing that work if you're getting a really, really steal of a deal on this home, or having someone else do that for you, okay? Plumbing systems should be updated as well. Your plumbing, it erodes, it goes bad. I mean, a lot of what I want to talk about, by the way, is covered if you get a really good home inspection. I was in home inspections. It's where I kind of got my start in real estate. I was a general manager of a home inspection firm, was one of the lead inspectors on one of our teams that we had there, and learned a lot about homes, home maintenance, home repair, as well as what you want to look for when investing into a real estate property. So if you get a really good home inspection, they'll go through and identify a lot of these things, but I'm just kind of giving you some of that information so that you know, and you're you're an informed buyer as well. But your plumbing is important. You want to make sure it's up to par. You want to make sure that it's not leaking anywhere. If you've got iron plumbing, I think the cast iron plumbing, they often had in older homes, it rusts out really easily and can cause a lot of backup in sewage lines and things like that. So these are just, again, not deal breakers necessarily, but things that you want to be aware of if you're looking at homes that are older type of properties. So now I want to talk about the difference between the home's age and the home's effective age. If you are looking at homes with a realtor and they're looking on the MLS you'll often see right next to the home's age, or right underneath you'll see the home's effective age. And the effective age of the home is essentially age of the home after it's all been updated, right? So if the home has had significant improvements and significant updates, then the effective age of the home, although the age of the home, maybe it was built in 1924, the effective age of that home could be 1990. And if the effective age of that home is 1990 or 2000 or 2010 or whatever, but the age of the home is older, all that's really telling you is that the systems in the home have probably been updated to a much better standard and are probably going to be a lot better off than had they, of course, been from way back when. The HVAC system, real quick, I also want to talk about the HVAC system, or in other words, your heating and air conditioning systems. Those systems will typically last, depending on where you are, somewhere between 15 to 25 years, just depending on the system and where you are in that system. So if you're looking at the system and you're seeing that it's nearing, it's getting pretty old, that can be used in a negotiation strategy. Again, you don't necessarily not want to buy the home because the heating and air conditioning is old, but it could be a negotiation tool to get a cheaper price in the home, or maybe have them repair it before you were to purchase that property. Because for a good HVAC system, for a replacement of an HVAC system, you could run anything anywhere from $5,000 on up to $25,000 or $30,000, depending on who you're going with for that type of repair. So just be aware of it. So the question again from Silver Shadow is, what do you want to be aware of? I guess really, what do you want to be aware of when you're going and buying real estate that you're going to be renting out? Does it have to be, or is it best to have it be a 2018 brand new property? And I would say, no, it doesn't have to be. The newer the home, if you can still get the same deal, yeah, the better. But if you're finding amazing deals on older homes, as long as you're either willing to update the systems yourself, or if they've already been updated, you're going to be in a good place. All right, friends, thanks for sticking around and watching this. We'd love to have you on more videos. We'd love to have your comments. By the way, your comments fuel what we're doing. We'd love to hear from you. What are your questions? Put them in the comments below, and go watch another one.